Last week, the annual National College Entrance Examination, which is widely known as the Gaokao, has finally come to an end. A netizen shared a video clip featuring a student who was the first to run out of the testing site. He was then immediately interviewed by a reporter in Chinese state media, and here's what he said. The reporter asked him, "Do you know that you were the first one to run out of the testing site?" He said, "Of course, yes, I do." The reporter wondered, "Did you do so intentionally?" He said yes. The reporter wondered, "How do you think you did?" The student responded, "I would like to express my appreciation for the Chinese Communist Party and the government. I am deeply grateful for the People's Republic of China, and I will forever support the Chinese Communist Party." The caption that was put on the video was, "It is incredible that the first student that left the examination room had such a high level of political awareness." A netizen commented, feeling that this student was clearly mocking the Chinese government, and he did so by providing a completely irrelevant response to the question that he was asked of. The real message that he was trying to get across was that I do know what you care about, and I do know what you want to hear. So here you go. Don't stop me from doing the things that I want. A netizen shared a video clip in which a man discussed what education truly means under the current political system in China. Here's what he said. Speaking of the number of people that are currently unemployed in China, to give an estimate, of course, the number was calculated from an optimistic standpoint. There should be, at a very minimum, over 100 million people. In the second half of this year, there are also 10 million plus employees that are forced to resign from their current positions. In addition, for many others, the length of time that they are allowed to work at their current company will also be shortened. As we all know, many of the most well-known businesses and corporations in China, especially those in the high-tech field, if you were employed by any such corporation, you would have reached the class 找不着工作呀，你只能干嘛去？送外卖。这个活原来不要学历的，对，很多小学的老师，基本大城市都要博士级以上学历才能到小学当老师。这为什么？因为学无所用。您所有在学校里学的所有知识，几乎到社会上全是过时。你们在工业文明创造的当年人类的工业文明的教育体系，根本不适应互联网文明的发展。他从小学一直学到大学，学到硕士博士，他所有学的东西95%以上东西全没有。为啥呀？你要查物理查化学，现在电脑比你人工回忆的好使多了，很多语言它比你帮助的都好使多了，所有需要你记忆背诵的，通通电脑比你好使多了，根本不用。然后呢，再发现你大量学的东西一辈子都用不到，也就是工业文明的教育对于一个人知识技能增长的效率，在互联网文明一体现太低。So this basically implies that even if you did graduate from a master's or even more advanced program, you would still not be able to find a job. That is the kind of job that you may expect to find that requires training like what you've received in your field. But given the credentials, you may be able to find delivery jobs. Well, in the meantime, it's important to note that originally, such positions do not have educational requirements. For many positions like elementary school teachers, especially those in the major cities, they all require PhD and even more advanced degrees. And why is that? Because it's not too exaggerating to say that nearly all of the knowledge that you've learned in school would not help you at all in the actual job market. They would have been outdated by the time you graduate and actually enter the real world. An educational system that was largely established during the Industrial Revolution period would not adapt well to the development trajectory of this modern era that is driven by the so-called internet civilization. To just give a plain example, when it comes to memorization, like content in subjects of physics or chemistry, you would never be able to compete with the computer. I feel that the current state of education system in China is highly ineffective in terms of actually helping an individual to increase his or her knowledge and skill base. A netizen shared about a change in Tencent's employment policy that first appeared in August of 2020. Specifically, back then, Tencent started to persuade all the employees that are over the age of 35 to quit their jobs because they are seen as elderly. The same news also appeared recently in Chinese state media. It was said that the majority of them are those that were born in or after the year of 1980. And the way that Tencent's HR or management went around this was that, on the one hand, for the employees that did sign a contract, the company would refuse to renew it. And on the other hand, for those that did not, the company will rearrange projects for these employees. And in most of the cases, they will be required to report to those that were born in or after 1990. And again, the typical or accepted definition for this group of people is that those that were born between 1980 and 1985, and those that work in the IT field, and as of now, have not advanced to a managerial position. A netizen shared a few pictures from the protests that recently broke out in Budapest in Hungary. Specifically, Fudan University, which is a prestigious university in China, was trying to establish a branch campus in Budapest, but the liberal mayor stood in opposition and, in fact, not long ago, named a few roads surrounding the area where the university is supposed to be established in to recognize groups whose rights are abused by the Chinese government. Some examples are Free Hong Kong Road, the Dalai Lama Road. A netizen replied, what the Chinese government is trying to do by establishing this branch campus in Hungary is very similar to establishing another Confucius Institute in the state, but just that the scale is larger. Another netizen felt that this is just like a party school that the Chinese government is trying to establish in Hungary, and clearly the people there have potentially also come to realize this.
Child, we will take you in. Child, we will bring you home. You'll be a flower that sees the spring. Soon a dove flying high